Hi, this is Kiyomi Emi with IndieExpress.com, and I'm here with Lynn Hershman-Leeson.
Hi, nice to be here.
Tell us a little bit about your film here at the AFI Film Festival.
It's called Strange Culture, and it's about the case of an artist by the name of Steve Kurse who woke up and his wife wasn't breathing. He called 911, and the medic and police came and looked at his art that was in his house and called Homeland Security. And then he was arrested for suspected bioterrorism. And this was 3 years ago, and he faces 20 years in prison. The charge changed to wire and mail fraud, but he still is potentially going to prison for this. So I wanted to tell the story and to let people know what was going on, with the legal system in our country, and what the dangers are, not just to Steve, but to all of us.
Absolutely, I think it's really important that you're doing this. So, talk about your directing process for the piece.
Well, the challenge was, how do you make a film about somebody that can't talk about the case because the trial hasn't happened? So initially I did it with some reenactments without him. Then he was able to come to California, and I did do one interview with him, and he said more than I thought he would. And he also said he didn't want his wife portrayed in the piece, but then about 3 months later said, well, if anyone did portray her, it should be Tilda Swinton, who I've worked with before, and she agreed to do it. And while I was shooting, because they only had Tilda for 40 minutes and Peter Coyote for 40 minutes, who plays the geneticist who also had a stroke and can't talk, it occurred to me that these actors were so articulate and intelligent and passionate that I should include what they're saying off screen. And since we did only have them for 40 minutes, the camera never stopped. So he had all these offside comments that they were making. So in a sense, the film unravels itself just as Steve's life unravels itself. And people sent me all kinds of footage because they had to make it quickly. So I just started incorporating all the things I got as I got it.
Now, you're an artist in all different types of media and art forms and veins. And so, talk about the difference between some of your other art forms and filmmaking.
Well, I see they're all the same, because it's really all about process. And often I'll show a piece, particularly one that is interactive and requires viewer participation, and change it according to how people respond to it. So it's about, having an idea and then being willing to change and make it accessible, and not giving up the integrity of it, until it's right. So filmmaking is a little bit different because you can't do it alone. And while I work with some fabricators and programmers, it's not to the degree that you need when you make a film. They have 200 or 300 people, that are on it in one way or another. So it's a more collaborative and broader way. But then again, you can show it to many more people than you can in just art museum settings.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk about your process of doing all this research for the film, for Strange Culture. And how long did it take you? And those kind of things.
I mean, when I heard about it, of course, everybody thought that the case would be dropped because it was so ridiculous. And when it wasn't, I felt I had to do something to tell people. And I thought I'd only do a DVD, something quickly. And we didn't have time to raise money, not that I could have anyway, but, I didn't want to take the time to even try. So we just sort of jumped right into it. And the whole film was made in less than a year and out.
Oh, that's fast.
That was the point. It was a political film. It's not like normal films. It doesn't take the first weekend box office, but I think it is changing policy, and I think it will have a real profound effect on his case and on the law. It was just what I wanted it to do. I can't compete. Every time I try to do something the right way, I fail. So I can't compete with anybody that does things the way that they do them in Hollywood or normal indie films. This is not about that. It's really about getting people aware and getting the information out.
So the film industry is basically known as an old boys club, and as a female filmmaker, how do you want to shift the climate?
I don't think it's an old boys club. I think it's a young boys club. And I can't become one. So I decided to, just do what I do and find my own market. And in fact, the film is now qualified, for Academy Award. It's played, and we will have played it in 84 theaters. That there's a lot of grassroots. We've sold it to DVD and to television. It's showing all over the world. It's showing in Israel. It's showing in Africa. It showed all over Europe, and showed in Buenos Aires in South America and being translated. And that's what this film is about. It's a political act, an activist stance to say that we can pick up a camera like that, a little mini DV camera, get your friends together, make a film in your kitchen, edit it on Final Cut in your kitchen, and get it into the world without it being an arm and a leg to make.
That's right. Well, great. Thank you very much for speaking with us this afternoon. This is Kiyomi Emi with Lynn Hershman-Leeson for IndieExpress.com.